Today we are in Mesagne, one of the most populous towns in Salento, and it's today an important commercial and agricultural center, famous for the cultivation of grapes, olives, grain, fruits and tobacco. Mesagne is common for its heart shape. It's a city full of reminders of its past. Among these, before you even enter the old city, the Church of the Immaculate Conception, built starting in the year 1425, keeper of paintings of particular artistic importance, and burial place of one of the greatest citizens Mesagnesi, Epifanio Ferdinando, founder of the local civic historiography, but also an internationally famous medical director. Let's penetrate deep into the city by going into its soul through the Great Gate, the main witness today of what were once the city's walls with towers and trenches. The present monument is not original, dating back to the year 400, but it's a reconstruction dating back to 1784, immediately after following the collapse about 20 years ago. A few steps forward and we arrive in Piazza 4 Novembre, called L'Ustitili, where an impressive monument rises, the church dedicated to All Saints. The church, built in mid-17th century according to the project of Francesco Capodieci, a priest from Mesagne on the former Byzantine church of St. Nicola Vetere, now probably coincides with the crypt, has a facade marked with 3 different architectural styles, with which the statues of the Apostolic College and the tower seems to increase even more its majesty. Inside the church has a monumental marble altar belonging to the artist Pagano, a precious wooden choir, and a huge pipe organ, as well as numerous paintings of value. In Piazza 4 Novembre, it's also situated the Magistrate's Palace, on which in 1878 was placed the first public clock and now houses the municipal library. Down the road, named after Lo Cantone Resta, with slabs of ancient stone, we come across the church of Saints Cosmas and Damian Medici, belonging to the 18th century, with an hexagonal shape and 2 doors in the front. Inside, of particular value, are the canvases, one of the few in Salento, which represents the Immaculate with the Medici saints, according to the attributes of Franciscan iconography, promoters of the cult before the proclamation of the dogma of the Church. Passing through the Palace of Municipal Art Gallery, we can't avoid looking at the beautiful upper balcony. We arrive in Via Martiri della Libertà and Porta Nuova, built over a ditch, used as a public sewer in the early year 1600 and rebuilt in 1702 as indicated in the epigraph. Above the inscription is placed the imperial coat of arms, probably of Charles III of Spain. The city coat of arms to the left and right shields the remaining arms of the Marquis Barretta. Of particular visual impact is also the town theatre in neoclassical style, built at the end of the 1800s, and which is now home for seasonal plays and music performances of different companies and artists. Outside the historic center, the artistic and architectural of Mesagne does not end. The Church of St. Mary in Bethlehem is a genuine embroidery of art among the most classic examples of Baroque style in Lecce. In the first order of the facade, there are 3 niches, bearing on the left the statue of St. Peter Celestine, on the right of St. Benedict, and in the center the Virgin. Undoubtedly, less gorgeous is not the Church of Santa Maria di Loreto, built by Giulia Farnese, designed so to dissolve the desire expressed in order to obtain the intercession of Mary for freeing her husband, Giovanni Antonio Albrici. We continue our visit to Mesagne, continuing along the picturesque streets of the old town until we reach the square of Piazza Orsini del Balzo, designed by Capodieci, who built the Church of St. Anne. The church was built starting in 1683 and was completed in 1699 by leading masters of Baroque style in Salento. Inside, a precious copy of the Deposition of Veronese, dating from the 17th century, attributed by Cunavi, and several statues made of papier-mâché by the artist Céline. Just next to the church, in the same square, there is the Palace Cavaliere, former Dimitri, probably previously located by the town police force. But the most important and imposing monument of this square is undoubtedly the castle of Norman origin. Subjected to several interventions, and from fortress has now become a feudal residence. Of particular beauty is the massive square tower, built in the 15th century by Gian Antonio del Balzo Orsini, and was originally topped by a smaller tower called Torre Polledro, then demolished due to the earthquake in 1743. Since 1999, the castle houses the town museum, among the largest in Salento, for the study of the Mesopica ancient civilizations. There are some main examples of civil architecture, such as the town villa, preceded by a votive column dedicated to Our Lady of Carmine, the patron saint of the city. The villa was built in the second half of the year 1800, where there had previously been placed an ordeal, and now it's an important meeting place for the entire community of Mesagne. And yet, how not to mention the Church of Santissima Annunziata with a Dominican influence, built on the harmonious ancient century church of which remains the only portal of Veronica, walled up under the rose window of the apse. Inside is a valuable painting of Maestro Zullo, depicting the Virgin and the Child, appearing to Saint Hyacinth, a beautiful painting of the Nativity belonging to the year 1772, and a precious wooden crucifix. Right next to the Church of Santissima Annunziata stands the complex of the Dominican convent, built in the 16th century, and in stone with clean lines, a typical tower with two bells and a carved portal. We must see even the sanctuary of the Madonna del Carmine, the patron saint of the city. It has a structure that combines Roman and Gothic, and it testimonies the rich artistic history of Mesagne. Built on a collection of hermits, the sanctuary preserves a wealth of art, religion of great value, the remains of Saint Ilario, who lies here and is still very much revered. Finally, we look at the early Christian temple of St. Lorenzo, a structure with 3 basilica naves surmounted by a dome, at one time probably frescoed. The interior now retains only a few traces, but is sufficient to sum up the vocation of Mesagne's art, history, and culture.